What up? This is Coach Liebs, and welcome to Wide Receiver Film Room Episode 5. This episode will be focused on Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Sammy Watkins. Something we're going to do during the 2019 season is we will name a Sideline Hustle wide receiver of the week every single week. And our top performer was Sammy Watkins this week, who opened up the season with 9 catches, 198 yards, and 3 touchdowns in a win versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. A super impressive performance and a game where he did a little bit of everything from long passes downfield to in-breaking routes, out-breaking routes, screen plays. Like I said, he did it all. And I just want to give a quick shout out to 2 guys that I know he trains with in the offseason. Keith Williams, who's the former receivers coach from Nebraska. He does a lot of route running stuff with him and did a lot of work with him this offseason, which I know helped a lot. And he also works with the foot doctor, who's an elite kind of physical therapist that works with a lot of professional athletes and helps get their body right. So shout out to those 2 guys, 2 of my good friends in this business. Sammy's a receiver who has a ton of talent, has just kind of needed to find the right situation to put it all together. And based on his week 1 performance, it seems like he has found a place where he can put it all together. Without further ado, let's take a deep dive into this incredible week 1 performance, Sammy Watkins of the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, here we go. This one starts off with a bang. It's 3rd and 3. This is the first third down of the game, actually the 3rd play in total of the game. And it ends up being like a 60-something yard touchdown to Sammy Watkins. He does a great job here. The biggest coaching point on this play is the way he catches the football. He does what I call he catches and pierces the defense right away. Some people call it puncturing the defense. Other guys will say knife through the defense. Whatever you want to call it all means the same thing. But catch the ball and get vertical right away. Don't try and dance. Don't try and run side to side. Catch it and pierce, just like he does right there. And he gets immediately vertical. He makes the first guy miss and then gets a little pressure step, a little juke move to make number 20 miss, and he's off to the races. And, you know, all you young receivers watching out there, when you hear your coach say catch and pierce, catch and puncture, they tell you not to dance, all that stuff. This is why, man. This is a really, really good example of catching the ball and getting vertical with a purpose right now, not wasting any time. Really good block by number 11, too, finishing the play and getting one guy blocked. Something I tell my receivers all the time is just leave the ball carrier with one guy. He can't ever beat 2 guys, but if you get the other guy blocked and leave him one-on-one, we'll take those chances. But make sure you finish every play, and this is a great job by both guys here. Second play now is a 1st and 10 on the next drive, and Sammy's the number 3 receiver in the slot right here to the field. Ends up being about a 21-yard gain. And here you can see him kind of attack the linebacker's outside shoulder. And as soon as he gets on his toes, he gives him a good little hip shift, a good little juke to freeze him, right? The one thing you don't want to do when you have an inside leverage linebacker is just try to run away from him, because if he's any good, that momentum's going to take him towards you and he's going to get hands on you. He's bigger and stronger than you, and he's probably going to bully you if you let him get hands on you. So Sammy does a good job attacking his leverage, kind of using a change of speed, change of tempo, get on his toes and use a little hip shift to keep him off balance. And that gives Sammy a clean release to the outside. And the film gets kind of cut off here on the TV copy, but you can see that he wins to the outside and is able to wrap it around the linebacker, again into the soft spot of the zone. Good job by Sammy using the change of speed, avoiding this linebacker. And the biggest thing you want in these second level slot releases is just a clean release, right? It doesn't really matter if you go inside or outside a lot of the times, but you just don't want to get held up and you don't want to let the linebacker jam you up. So great job here with the free release here by Sammy Watkins. Finds the open hole in the zone, catches, and gets a first down. Sammy's next catch comes with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. This is one that's really simple, but a really important lesson for a number of reasons for young receivers to watch here. All right, he's running a stop route versus press coverage right here, which is like a 7 and 9 yard hitch route depending on the footwork, and it's kind of like a manufactured back shoulder fade. Get the DB running, get his momentum working against him, get him to defend vertical, and then shut it down really suddenly. Just push him vertical in a really sudden break point. Look how clean he drops at the top. Drop pop. Right? Drop on your inside, sink your hips, and then pop suddenly on your outside. It's the most efficient way you can get in and out of a route like this, kind of the hitch or stop type route. Super violent. He has a little throw by at the top there where he's pushing the DB's hands off him at the same time that he's stopping his feet, and that gets the corner's momentum going all the way upfield. The next lesson here is just the way he finishes, right? He easily could have ran out of bounds, easily could have just, stopped the play completely, but instead, he's trying to set the tone for his team, and he's running right through the cornerback's face. He's finishing with a purpose. He's finishing violently, and this is something that in a football game doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it plays its part throughout a 48-minute or a 60-minute football game by just setting the tone and telling the defense that we're not scared, we're not going anywhere, we're here to play, and we're here to challenge you every single play. This is a really cool play here. This is later in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10 for the Chiefs, and they run Sammy on a shallow wheel. And this is kind of a new phenomenon in the NFL. The first time I'd ever seen this play run was last year by the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs. They ran, I believe it was Brandon Cooks, on a shallow wheel like this, where they're running a shallow cross, from one side of the field to the other, across the formation like he does here, and then he hooks it up on the numbers like a wheel route and runs vertical up the numbers. And the reason why this is so confusing to the defense is most zone defenses, with the way they handle shallow crosses, is they're taught to pass that off to the next defender. So this middle linebacker, you can see, kind of gets hands on Sammy and passes him off to the next linebacker. But before Watkins can get to the next linebacker, he pushes that thing vertical up the field, and there's no one left to defend him, and he's wide open for a touchdown. So really, really cool concept. This is actually one that we ran at Don Bosco Prep last year in the playoffs. We saw the Los Angeles Rams run it, and we had our guy wide open for a touchdown in the playoff game, and he dropped the ball in the end zone, which brings back bad memories. But it just shows you the effectiveness of this play. It can work at the college level, it can work at the high school level, and of course it works in the NFL. All right, Watkins' next catch comes with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Just a simple speed out here. Watch Patrick Mahomes here. He's reading this safety or this linebacker who's walked down to the line of scrimmage. So watch out. His eyes, as he's play faking here, his eyes are on that linebacker. As soon as the linebacker comes and pressures the quarterback, Mahomes pulls it and just flips it out to Sammy Watkins in the flat right away. So really easy, simple play design. You can see up front, the reason why it's called RPO, okay, a lot of announcers like to get this confused. Okay, the definition of an RPO is that the offensive line and the running back is running the run play, right? They are not pass protecting. They are blocking the run play, which in this case is inside zone. So if you look up front, they're all blocking inside zone. The only person who's involved in the pass play are Sammy Watkins and the quarterback. Okay, it's Mahomes' job to read the defender in conflict, the unblocked defender. In this case, the unblocked defender is the last man in the line of scrimmage, that linebacker coming off the edge. Okay, so if he were to drop into pass coverage, Mahomes would hand the ball off. As soon as this linebacker pressures the quarterback, Mahomes is going to pull the ball and just flip it out to Sammy Watkins right away. And, again, a simple route, but what he does after the catch is not simple, and it's something that you truly cannot teach. Okay, watch Watkins take this ball, push vertical full speed, and attack the defense, and then stop on a dime right there as he watches the corner kind of fall by him and miss the tackle. Push vertical, stop on a dime, one step, pressure step, and then re-accelerate for an extra, 15, 20 yards of this. Woo! Right there, just like it's a Madden juke move, like he hit down on the right stick, and he gets him to fly by him, then he re-accelerates and hits the burst. Really, really great job by Sammy Watkins after the catch. Another example of him finishing with a purpose. He's not satisfied just running out of bounds. He's not satisfied just simply getting the first down. He's looking to get more and more and more after the catch. And that's a really great job by him, turning a simple RPO play into a big explosive play. All right, now here we go. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Here's the first play out of the 2-minute warning. Sammy Watkins is the number 2 receiver here down bottom. They're going to run a little screen play to him, which looked like it was supposed to be a middle screen where he wanted to stay at the line of scrimmage. Obviously, I'm not in the meeting rooms with them, and I wasn't here for the play design, but I can't imagine that the coaches wanted him to run 5 yards back into the backfield like this. I think that Watkins got a little spooked from what he saw in front of him, maybe because those linemen hadn't gotten out yet, and he knew he wanted to get behind his offensive line. I can't imagine that the play design was for him to run back 5 yards and catch this ball 5 yards deep in the backfield. Generally, I think you want to stay at the line of scrimmage, let your blockers get in front of you, but you don't want to have to gain another 5 yards after catching the ball and make up for those 5 yards. Now, what Sammy Watkins does here, again, is pretty special. He catches the ball 5 yards back in the backfield and ends up turning nothing into something. It looks like he's dead to rights. He's got 3 white jerseys around him, and he breaks all these tackles, breaks another 2 tackles with a simple, pressure step to cut directly upfield. Another example kind of catch and pierce, right? Watch him. He's not dancing. He's cutting with intention. He's cutting violently, and he's getting right upfield. And he turns what looked like a 5-yard loss into a 7-yard gain. And again, it only shows up as a 7-yard gain on the stat sheet, but, dealing with second and 15 in a 2-minute drive versus, now it's 2nd and 3 is a big, big difference, and really was a drive-saving play right there by Watkins. All right, Sammy's next catch comes with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. He's the number 3 receiver to the field right here, and he just runs a little whip route. Okay, the big coaching point of this whip route is to sell it like you're running shallow cross at first, right? Sell that you're running across the field. And the best example I can think of this is Keenan Allen. Watch Keenan put his head down and run, and that sells to the defense that you're running down the field. If you're gonna put your head down and run, you know, that's what this looks like here with Keenan Allen, selling that he's running across the field, and then he gets out of this drop pop, gets out in 2 steps, and comes back on the whip route. That's the best whip route I've ever seen. This one's, pretty comparable to this. Has a low pad level, opens his stride, he's running full speed like he's running that shallow cross, and you see that gets the linebacker to kind of push inside and gives Watkins room to work back outside. And now he knows that this linebacker is chasing him, and does a good job of obeying the ball. You can see Pat Mahomes kind of throws this on his inside shoulder, and a quarterback who's that good is throwing it on his inside shoulder on purpose, alerting Sammy Watkins to stop his momentum and push upfield instead of continuing to the sideline. And by throwing it inside, he can use that linebacker's momentum against him. Keep chasing me to the sideline, I'm going to catch and pierce right inside of you, and ends up gaining an extra 4 or 5 yards. Here's Watkins' next catch again, just a simple slant route on the outside, another RPO play. Okay, it looks like Mahomes is reading the end man on the line of scrimmage again, and you can see that ends up being the safety who comes down late and ends up blitzing when Travis Kelce motions inside. They bring Travis Kelce in to see if it's man or zone. The defense's response is to blitz the quarterback right away with the guy who's in man coverage on Kelce. So Mahomes knows he has a one-on-one matchup here to Watkins. He just takes his chance and delivers a strike. Watkins makes a great catch, low ball catch, pinkies together, attaches his eyes to it, even though the corner's all on his back. And again, big time play there on first down, and now it's 2nd and 1. Here's Watkins' last catch of the game, his 9th catch of the game, coming with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But here we are, 2nd and goal at the 3-yard line, and here's Sammy Watkins matched up down bottom against Jalen Ramsey. So a premier matchup here. And here's Sammy kind of selling slant down bottom, and the key to this is he turns his head and shoulders inside. Watch how Watkins sells this route, sells the slant route with his head and shoulders by looking inside. As soon as he looks inside, Jalen Ramsey's eyes match his eyes, and Ramsey puts his eyes on the quarterback. As soon as Ramsey puts his eyes on the quarterback, he loses all his power and all his strength. Okay, so Watkins knows this. Watkins doesn't smoke him. He doesn't get him to jump inside all the way where it's non-contested. But he knows that as soon as Ramsey looks inside of the quarterback, he's dead, and he's got no more base to him. As Ramsey's momentum comes inside, Watkins uses that against him and throws him by violently. And watch this throw by. Violent as hell. Really, really strong, grown man's play right here. It's just something that I would not suggest a smaller receiver to use. I wouldn't suggest a weaker receiver to use. You got to get in the weight room before you use a throw by like this. And Watkins uses all of his strength to really throw Jalen Ramsey by and toss him into the end zone, and then use his momentum against him and break back out where he's got enough separation to score at the 3-yard line. So sell the slant inside, sell it with your head and eyes, get the corner's momentum going against him, and throw him by violently and expect the ball on the outside. And Mahomes delivers a strike right at the front pylon for a touchdown and to cap off really a career day for Sammy Watkins. So that's all we've got for Wide Receiver Film Room Episode 5. This one was featuring Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Sammy Watkins. What an incredible performance. 9 catches, 198 yards, and 3 touchdowns. This is one to be remembered, and I'm really excited to watch him play the rest of the year. And I'm hoping he can kind of establish himself amongst the elite receivers in the NFL. As you guys know, he was a first-round pick, back a few years ago, and someone who was thought of as one of the best talents coming out of the draft. Didn't really find his fit up in Buffalo and has been struggling to come into his own. But now here he is with the best performance of any receiver in the NFL in week 1. And it'd be really cool to see him continue to put this together. Like I mentioned before, we'll be doing these wide receiver film rooms at least once a week, if not at times twice a week. So make sure you guys are on the lookout. Kind of building this YouTube channel has been a big focus of ours for this 2019 season. So if you're a fan of the Sideline Hustle or you like this content, make sure you throw us a like down bottom. Feel free to share it with your friends, any football fanatics you have that you think would like this content. Comment down below who you guys want to see next. A lot of these wide receiver film rooms will be based on performance, and we'll name it off the hottest wide receiver that week. But when we do these extra ones, we'll be able to choose kind of the receiver that we want to break down. So if there's someone in particular that you want to see, make sure you leave it in the comments. We'd also love to hear your feedback in the comments. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Sideline Hustle. You can also see the links below to check out our podcast and check out our Sideline Hustle merchandise store where you can buy some t-shirts and sweatshirts. Support the brand if you guys like the content. We're trying to build this thing up more and more as we go. But that's all we've got for Wide Receiver Film Room episode 5. This is Coach Lieb signing out. Until next time, peace.